who is it you say you are sitting there planning for? If these are the people merely for expressing their opinions themselves about the university funding model, about the high taxes, that becomes a reason why you will take away their lives. And I keep saying, I was lucky that I was able to run to William Ruto. I'll tell him, William Ruto, I sent you a message last night at 3 a.m. I told you my son was abducted. You have not responded. He says, oh, my phone crashed, there are too many messages. And then I tell him, and before going to him, I had tried to get to talk to anybody, including, I don't want to now, but our good friend from Daraka, Kindiki, who was then in charge of Interior. Fire you. Norma, see Norma. And he too had the audacity of replying to me that, no, I can tell you. Because I told him, Nuldin knows where my son is. And Kindiki called me twice. I told me, no, it's not true. I have spoken to Nuldin. Asked him, but Kindiki, if you have spoken to him, why is it that he cannot pick my calls? We sit together in the National Security Council. Why? I mean, does he imagine that it's not a love affair? Since last evening, I've been trying to call him and he cannot answer my calls. So I go, given that situation, Muhisa, I drove to State House. I told Kasongo, look, my son was picked, and then he's telling me, oh, my phone crashed. I said, no, just call. Call Nuldin. I'm standing next to him. And he calls Nuldin and says, Nuldin, are you the one holding Muturi's son? I said, yes, sir. The family, yes. Just release him. And Nuldin says, it, and I could hear, Your Excellency, in the next 1 hour, you'll be at home. Surely. I imagine how many parents in Kenya have been agonizing to date. For some of them, with you, Wakili Njiro and Dan Manzo, some of them they don't know where their children are. They disappeared without trace to date. They cannot reach William Ruto. I was lucky. I was able to reach him. But isn't it obvious? Does it require any dons? If he calls this one person and he tells him, release him, do we need to go out there asking who has been abducting these kids? I mean, and remember when he was challenged on 27th of December last year at Homabay by Raila, he said, I'm going to edit. March later this year, at the visit, at the press conference they held with the president of Finland, in answer to a question by one of the journalists there, what did William Ruto say? All those who had been abducted have been released and taken to their homes. So Kenyans, do you have any doubts as to who is abducting? Because how would you release someone whom you don't know where they are? I mean, it's obvious. And then when you turn around and purports to set up a committee, that reminds me, Council Njiro, the Latin maxim, Memo judex in cosa sua. You cannot be a judge in your own cause. William Ruto, we have tremendous respect for Makawa Mutua. Makawa Mutua is somebody we respect. In fact, we were with him in the university. He was a year behind me. But surely, because you know, people go through, tunaambiwa siku hizi kuna mwosho moja. I think Makao, my good friend, ameoshwa moja, na hapo ndio shida ya Kenya imeanza sasa. Because it is not possible for you to say you are going to have to do a framework for compensating those who may have been injured or killed during the protests. It is not possible. I'm going to sit and I want to listen more to these great people, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Umesikia jamba kabisa. Well, before I call Fred, I talked of building a team. One Kenya, one nation, one team. For one town. Sindio? So we cannot drive this narrative if we are going to have contradictions between ourselves. So our advice is to those working with us, those in the Wiper Patriotic Front, those in DCP, those in DP, those in Jubilee. By the way, I forgot to bring the greetings of Chairman wa Jubilee, Saitoti, Tarome, also with us in the summit. So please assist us, Wakili Ndengwa Njiru. If you have any information about any of us, because we must always check with the principals. You know what I'm talking about. Today I'm supposed to be Kofi Annan between you and Fred, and also between Fred and our brother Ben Momanyi. You know, when we go to Kisii, we start singing to keep Peter Narrow. Ago. Ben Momanyi, ago. We need to build one team. So that respect is so critical. So critical. Let's not begin to dismember our unity even before we begin. And building coalitions, I can tell you, is the most difficult thing. I tried to help President Tshisekedi and the advisor of Uhuru Kenyatta, who sent me there, as you know, Fred, and Kabila. And it took me 1 year to advise Tshisekedi to work with Kabila. And one time, Tshisekedi asked me, Kabila now wants to take. He says, I either take the Minister of Minister of Finance or the Interior. I looked at Tshisekedi and said, Mr. President, since we want to sign all these letters of appointment, my advice to you is the Interior Ministry. And all these other ministries, because there's a cluster in the DRC of those ministries. Tshisekedi took my advice. I don't think he regretted thereafter. So, please, before you dismember, until then, after a year after that, he started to talk about the sacred coalition. Yani sacred, what is that Mukisha? Ile sacred. Kwa hivyo uhusiano wa ajabu huyu. Tukifanya uhusiano huu, tukibuni mambo yetu haya, jameni tusiharibiane. I wanted to say that as a caution. And my brother Fred Matiangi, as you all know, he looks strong. Hata akiingia hapa, utaona Mukisha strong. Nayo, I like his style of greeting people, anainua mikono yote. Yeah, kwa hivyo, somebody who must remain nameless, Fred, told me the reason Kenyans love Matiangi is because they think akichukua hivi kazongo ndani. Kwa hivyo basi, karibu sana ndugu Fred. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
I'll be very brief. I'll speak less time than my predecessors because I've said all the wonderful things I'm going to say. My elder brother and my friend, Your Excellency, Vice President Kalonzo, my other elder brother and friend, Honorable Justin Muturi, Honorable Dr. Mutembei, Secretary, another one of my elder brothers. That's a bit of being younger than them. I'm looking at all of them. My friend, Wavinya Ndeti, High Excellency, the Governor of Machakos. Honorable members of Parliament who are here, Makam Mulu, we work together in civil society. My brother Obadia, my very good friend Ben Mumani. I actually forgot to withdraw the request from Honorable Kalonzo that this morning we prayed together and forgot about that. And all of you wonderful people. First of all, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for inviting us. The reason I already accepted when you asked me whether I would come for this lunch is because I'm determined, and I'm going to say it here, I'm determined, like all reasonable people, to start speaking against the nonsense that goes on around. The Honorable Kalonzo and I have been the targets of choice for this administration for propaganda, malice, and cyberspace nonsense. You know, what they do is, and I keep saying all the time, I actually wish they spent as much time on the right things, or even the money they are spending, paying the bloggers and all that to, you know, politic and lie about us and kill things about us. Why don't they give that money to school so that we can actually continue free education? So that every day, my brother Omingo Magara, who's here, and I will just keep asking ourselves the question, how bad can it be? But look, let me pause there and say this. Listening to Honorable Justin Muturi speak, and then, by the way, this is, for me, this is my best possible audience I would talk to. This is my ultimate comfort zone. This is where I belong. Some of you, my colleagues, you are here from the university. You know, we taught together at the University of Nairobi. I think I probably am still a member of the senior common room at the University of Nairobi. And you know, and you wonderful students, you know, the source of our inspiration and satisfaction all the time. And therefore, this is the place where I would speak to you candidly, straightforwardly, without drama and innuendo, and tell you things as they are, because here, logic and reason rules. Because, and so I start by saying this. 3 points I'll make. Listening to what Honorable Justin Muturi said this afternoon, I keep asking myself this question I have wondered all along. After the elections in 2022, what is wrong with us as a people? Because I remember I went to a conference of bishops in Westlands when I was cabinet secretary for Interior, and a bishop challenged me about money and said, you know, these wonderful people in one party are going around promising everybody billions, billions. Where have you taken the money? And I told them then, as all of you have proved today, that is a lie. These people are lying to you. There's nothing they're telling you that's truthful. They're telling you things they think you would like to hear and vote for them. And I can almost swear to you, they will not fulfill any of those things they're telling you. They're just lying to you. These guys are just liars. That's how I coined the outbreak of lies after the COVID-19 outbreak. The campaign was characterized by an outbreak of lies, you know. People running around the country lying. And you can see yourselves that we have started season 2. They have started season 2 of those lies. You know, they're flying around the country, they're telling people about empowerment. I mean, what do 64 shillings do to anybody? Or 100 shillings? Now they are bamboozling villagers, you know, with helicopters and so on. You know, you're smart people. I mean, you more than anyone else as educated people who have engaged in research, who analyze information. Please, wonderful people, there are people who lost their lives fighting for the independence of this country. What we are being asked to do is nothing compared to what some of our forefathers have done. The sacrifices people have made to get Kenya to where it is. There are other people, I mean, I'll be honest with you, and then let's say things the way they are. There are people, including Raila himself, who have gone to detention, and other people suffering for this country to get us to where we are today. And many of those people, I cannot name today, who went to detention, suffered, getting us where we are today. What we are being asked today is to make the right decision for Kenya. And the right decision for Kenya is that our good friends in the administration have clearly failed to manage the country. Then you don't even need a PhD, it's not rocket science. You can see clearly they cannot manage the country. And in place of, because governments, if you are an incumbent government, you run on your record. Because what they should be trumpeting now is their record, saying, please, we need more time so that we can complete this. You can't ask for more time to do nothing. Because you have done nothing, you're asking for more time to do more nothing. That is what this is all about. And for you guys who are here, wherever you go, the challenge we have, and that's why I would like to be very direct on this matter, the challenge we have is to talk to fellow Kenyans. Forget about this business of the tribes and regions, I don't know whose turn it is and so on. Look, we are facing a real danger as a country. Look at, I can speak to you as a former Minister of Security. Look at what's going on in Manyora. How? An independent country like this that's supposed to have an infrastructure in place and so on. What is that going on there? Look at what's going on in our cities and so on and so forth. The rate of crime going up, every day and so on. And if you doubt me, talk to people in the security sector in the country. They tell you their woes and their challenges. People talk to us. People are even going to whatever extent to look for private opportunities to speak to us. Their woes and their cries and the challenges they're facing, how they're facing all these problems. So I want to ask you this question. Surely, you're all intelligent people. We're all intelligent people as we're here. What are we waiting for? Do we even, Honorable Kalonzo, do we actually need to campaign? What do you want us to tell you? President Kibaki used to say, what do you want us to tell you? What do you want us to tell you? Honestly, that describe what you can see what is going on in the country, and then you see all these dramas that are going on. Because the character of people who cannot deliver is clear. They will dramatize everything. They spend all their time on nonsense and the things that they lie. They use excuses every day and so on and so forth. I was in the US when I saw a letter. They have choreographed a letter purportedly from the chairman of the AU addressed to the head of state here to nominate or appoint Kalonzo to go and do something in Western. It takes time to pay people to spend time on that kind of nonsense. For a country that is supposed to be going forward, that's what they are spending time on now. If you look at the amount of money they are spending, those of you who come from Kisi, you know this. 2 months alone, the deputy president and some group of people have gone there 9 times. I record 9 times, supposedly for empowerment. 100 shillings, 64 shillings. Answering villagers, we are empowering you, and so on. By the way, you don't even need a meeting. When you work, you don't need a meeting. Your work will speak for itself. In fact, you don't even need to ask people to elect you. People themselves will be saying, let's give these guys another term. If they are going the way they are going, let them complete what they are doing. So, but what are they going to complete? Nothing. Give you more time to complete nothing. So that is it. When my brothers and sisters, I want to speak to you from the depth of my heart. We are in this, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and these brothers and all of us, we are not in this because we are bored or we have nothing to do with our time. We are in this because we want to make our contribution, because we are shocked at how our country is going down. That's all. And you can see, we are not coining it, we are not inventing it. You have pay slips in your pockets, don't you? And you see what, so as President Kibaki would ask, what do you expect from us to tell you? Time is here for this country to be in the hands of different managers. Our challenges and our argument is based on one thing: management. This has nothing to do with hate or anything else, and that's why personally I don't spend so much time on a lot of innuendos. I would like to focus on solutions. How do we get ourselves out of this? The horrific stories you hear in the education sector that are going on. No one knows that better than you guys. What we are seeing in the country. I mean, we talk to teachers, we are with teachers, school principals, parents every day. And you keep asking yourself the question, what actually is going on? And so what do you want to hear? All those parents of Kenya, all the teachers of Kenya, wherever you meet the teachers, ask them a simple question: do you want to continue this way? If your answer is no, like mine is, and Kalonzo and everybody's answer is no, then you know what to do. This is a case where I honestly think we shouldn't campaign. Those who should campaign and are spending money on social media, insulting us, creating meetings for us that we don't even know, lying about what Kalonzo has done and has not done, lying about where Matiangi is seated, vis-a-vis Kalonzo's position of sitting. You know, people have nothing to spend. People spend time on pettiness, you know, and small, you know, how did we become so small-minded as a country? Those are the kind of things we spend time on now. And now we are being told about those. Let's go forward and build our country. We have a duty to build our country. And here is my ask of you, wonderful people. For us, as leaders who are meeting the opposition and those that we will meet as we continue, I've said several times before, we are betting on our differences. You will lose your bet for sure, because we are not going to disagree. All that propaganda, all those stories you hear people going every day and so, they intended to either annoy Kalonzo or annoy me or annoy Kalonzo supporters or annoy my supporters or do something. Oh, you know, I don't know who's annoyed. How do you know? I mean, you are not God. How do you know who's annoyed? Peddling lies, you know, and so on. We are determined to make our contribution and make the ultimate sacrifice about how we will save this country and redeem or save this country from the hands of these people. You know, people advise me these days that because I'm saying I'm aspiring for the president, I should change my language a little bit. Because I would say some stronger things. Because some of the things you see are shocking. Because how a country of our size. And you know, Kenya, we have everything going for our country. You guys know this more than anything else. I was in the education sector. We have a very educated population. Very patriotic people who love their country. Kenyans are very hard-working people. They really want to do good for their country. All they need is trustworthy leadership. You mean what you say what you mean. It's long since we had a government that you could trust. That's all that Kenyans have. And because they can be trusted, we're telling you, trust us. We'll give you our word and we keep our trust us. And we will level with you. When it's not going to happen, we will tell you it's not going to happen. We will not lie, not verge or hide or hibernate or tell you stories in place of work. And we will not come to you and begin to lie and pretend about things, you know. Listen very carefully. There must be linguists in this audience. Students of linguistics and researchers. I want you to listen to the language of this administration when of their leaders speak. It's called street corn language, you know, where they say tumeunganisha that language is non-committal language, non-responsible language that you cannot ascribe responsibility. Very evasive language. People who do things, they come forward to you as leaders, like Honorable Kalonzo stood here and said, I have done this, I have told JB this, and so on. Or JB says, I did this, I asked this question, and so on. That's what responsible people do. But those who are evasive, who evade responsibility, they throw in that language, that evasive language. And meunganisha waya they behave and so on. Kenya is better than this. We are better people than that. So, thank you so much for this audience and Your Excellency. You have led the way. This is what we are going to do for several days. We agreed. A consensus building, having small group meetings like we are having here today, talking to you and listening to you, getting ideas from you. Dr. Moyo, thank you for the sermon. We will surround ourselves with you, smart people, advising us on what we need to do. And we will do this until that time when we get to a point and say which one of us is going to be the captain to lead the team for transformation. And we will continue to work together. And you, our friends, because you have nothing to run on, you have nothing to defend. It's only propaganda you can do. Please carry on, because in any case you must find something to do. So if that's what you're found to do, carry on with it. As we carry on with the plan we want to build and the platform we would like to build to move our country to the next level. And we will soldier on as leaders outside of government. And finally, my brothers and sisters, I say this every time I have an opportunity to talk to Kenyans. We are stronger, and there's nothing wrong with our country. I mean, this is a wonderful country. It's our only home on earth. God has been kind and gracious to us and gifted us a wonderful country. Let's take care of it. The challenges we have, the momentary challenges in our leadership, are not our destiny. You know, that language, those kind of lies. You know what Dr. Kitui was asking here? You university professors are researchers. You know, when a guy tells you that there are 500 or so health units in a particular place, and you know the population of the place, we were actually walking the math in the morning together, and we were saying it must mean that every 5 or 10 households in that area has got a clinic. Is that possible? Yani kwani sisi ni wajinga wa wapi? You know, I mean, do they expect that we will believe that? You know, so you know, please let us not accept these intellectual insults and this abuse we are getting as a people. Let us stand up, crank ourselves up, dust ourselves together, move forward, vote these fellows out, and form a government that will take Kenya to the next level. And demonstrate our seriousness as a country. We are a serious country. We cannot be managed like this. We are serious people. How can we accept to be managed like this? And then we have capacity to manage ourselves better. So, my part in short, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, is let's do every one of us who are seated here. I want to ask you, please, prepare to do a good thing. You know, in life and in the history of your country, you do a good thing when you improve your country's welfare. And now, as we are moving forward to the elections, please prepare to do a good thing. And the good thing can't be returning these people. So you know what the good thing is. And you educated people. Yani kama tuko namna hii vile tulivyo baada ya miaka 3. Another 5 years of these people, do you think you will have a country? Takuwa hata umeuswa wewe mwenyewe unapita kazi. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you so much. So now I think we need to continue. I think that those who have to leave, we give them permission to do so that we can continue. As I was talking, a member of a family came, one of the family members, where's Mwasia? Mwasia Kowapi. Kokule. Thank you. So we will continue, and we thank you so much. Those are inspiring things. And I think that even as the dons meet here and go wide and far, you realize, for example, the people of Kericho, we had Professor who spent a lot of time in Kericho. And if you know why Governor Mutahi had to be impeached, and he called me. I've never spoken to him before. 58,000 acres of tea. Tea, 15,000 acres. And the tea, wanataka wachukue. And this governor was saying no over my dead body. So he had to be impeached. Well, that one did not go through. And so Governor Abinya, you guys have to be bold as well. Stand for your people and be very, very bold. So tunaomba tu kwamba tuendelee. You know, I'll tell you, Fred, before you go, where you are here is Yatta farm. It's hardly 300 acres, hardly. And it was bought from one part to get to Thika Superhighway, bought from a lady called Janet Chirchir. She lives in the US. Her advocate was Kip Kenda, right? I think Keegan actually, in that transaction. And below the furrow, it was owned by Major Langat. And this is land in Machakos. We bought it. When I ran against Kibaki in 2007, there are people saying Kalonzo grabbed NYS land. That's the only thing they talk about me. I've given you the truth. Bought with a bank loan, stamp duty paid, kila kitu. And one time I challenged William Ruto. Actually prepared all these things and took the DCI and I said, these are the documents. Now bring yako. Tuambie ile ya Murumbi na ile ingine ya Taita Taveta na kwingineko. What is all this? This insatiable greed for grabbing land. Afraid we have work to do. Lest we are accused of just saying one term and no term or whatever. We have serious work. And that serious work will mean stopping this grand corruption. Really, it is so grand. Na hiyo kwamba hiyo ya kina Duale na wengine is so blatant that we have to stand and do something. Actually, Kenyans are watching. Tutafika lini hiyo 2027? Asanteni sana. Vijana watawawa tena. Tutakataa. Asanteni. Let me see our visitors. Organ chairman, endelea.
Haitawezekana sisi kufaulu. Kama Musa na Waisraeli
wakienda, we can stretch a little bit. DJ nipatie ngoma nzuri ili tuwasikize.